What's going on, fellow Mustang lovers? I think that's how I would address everyone in the opening of most of my videos. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. It's been about 2 years since I last uploaded a video on this channel telling everyone goodbye because I sold the 1970 Mustang Mach 1, and that was the end of the series. And it was the end of this channel. But I did want to take a few minutes, now that we're at roughly that 2-year mark, to address probably what was the #1 comment on that video, which was people saying, "You will regret this. You will be sorry that you sold the Mustang that was passed down to you from your dad. You should have finished it in his honor and now your brother's honor since he passed away," which was the reason why I sold the Mustang. I could not continue on with the project after my younger brother passed away in December of 2022. It just didn't feel right. Every time I looked at the car, I thought of him. I thought of the memories we made in that short time working on it. And then I thought about the fact that there will be no future memories with him working on the car, which, to be honest with you, was the most exciting part about all of it, was the time that I was going to get to spend with my younger brother restoring the Mustang. So I just want to tell you my thoughts 2 years later, if I have any regrets selling the Mustang. I want to talk about the future of this channel, if there is one, if there's any future projects maybe coming up. And then I want to end with giving you an update on the 1993 F-150 that we did get running for the first time in almost 15 years on this channel. That was a farm truck that was passed down to me from my grandpa. So I'll give an update on that. We're actually going to go outside and take a look at the truck. I've still got it. So do I regret selling the Mustang? As I said, it's been 2 years, and I have to be brutally honest. No, I don't regret selling the Mustang. Do I miss working on it? Absolutely. Of course I do. What I miss more, as I've continued to say, was spending time with my brother in the garage and just hanging out and making memories. Learning about cars and working on the Mustang was honestly just sort of an added bonus, I guess. Now, the car did have sentimental value. I had wanted it for a very long time, and my dad had always told me, "It will be yours. I will pass it down to you." And I don't want to downplay that. It was not an easy decision to make, but the reality is that car would still be sitting in that garage 2 years later now, and I would have never touched it again. What I ended up doing was actually selling it to my neighbor. Not my neighbor, but my mom's neighbor, because the car was at my mom's house on their property where her and my dad had lived. And he had a shop, and he actually restored cars. That's what he did as a full-time profession. And he hit me up. I told him that I didn't feel like I could work on it any longer, and I sold it to him. About a week or two later, he ended up selling it to someone else who had actually planned on continuing to restore it and upload videos to their YouTube channel. Now, unfortunately, they uploaded one video, and I've not seen another one since then. So I'll just be honest, I don't know, because I've not been in touch, but I don't know of any more work that they have done to the car either. So I think that it is still just sitting in a garage somewhere. It's at least inside, at least in their last video that they uploaded immediately after they bought it about 2 years ago. So I don't know that the car is going to be finished anytime soon, if ever, which is very unfortunate. I was actually hoping that once I sold that to someone, that they could restore it and it could be back on the road and it could bring somebody else joy. I am still a Mustang guy, but I don't currently own a Mustang. If you remember in some of the videos, I had a Jeep Cherokee XJ that would be in the background. I actually sold it about a year ago. Heck, I've moved since my last video. So I sold that. I traded in my man card, my cool card, and I got a 2023 Honda CRV. It's the hybrid. It gets great gas mileage. When you get to be my age, in your mid-30s, you trade your cool card in for some things like heated seats, some, comfort, some features and things with the car. But anyways, they haven't really uploaded anything else, and that's unfortunate. I'm still happy that I did make the channel, and I learned quite a bit about cars. I'm by no means a mechanic, but it gave me some confidence. You guys helped give me some confidence in the comment section with the videos, to the point that, I do things now, little repairs on my vehicles that I would not have done in the past. I would have just ran to a shop and had them fix things, but now doing things like oil changes, routine maintenance, spark plugs, brakes, changing out, things that are easy to swap out, like a starter or other various different things. It built up my confidence enough that I was comfortable doing those things. And even if I had never done it before, I was more open to reading some things online, watching some tutorials on YouTube, and I wasn't scared to tackle those things anymore. So I'm very thankful for all of you and for the channel and, everything that we did on it. But moving on to the next part, are there any future projects planned? What's going on with the channel? Because there's still almost 21,000 of you here subscribed. And I've had many people say, hey, what about if you just fired up something new, something that, you didn't have an emotional attachment to, something you could just do on your own? And I will say that I would like to do that someday. I would say that another car that I would love to own, another one that I've always wanted to have, is a 1966 Mustang. And I did have one in the past when I was around 18 or 19 years old. I had bought a 1966 Mustang off of a guy on Craigslist for like $1,800, but it needed a ton of work. I mean, it needed all of the body work done. The engine needed to be rebuilt. It needed a full-blown restoration. And if you guys thought I didn't have a lot of car knowledge once I'd fired up this channel, I definitely didn't have it back then when I was 18 or 19 years old. So I would enjoy getting something around like a 66 or a 67 Mustang, but getting one that doesn't need quite the amount of restoration as my 1970 Mustang Mach 1 needed, or, to that level, something that I could get and just kind of tinker with and get it going and we have some fun with it. But I have nothing set in stone. I'll just be honest with you. I'm going to keep this channel here because sometimes I like to go back and relive some of the memories here on this channel, seeing my brother and I working together on the Mustang and the truck, which we're about to get to here in a second. But nothing planned just yet, but that is something that I would like to do in the future. The 93 F-150, I could sit here and talk about it on camera, but that's kind of boring, right? How about we go outside and I just show you? So there it is, the 1993 F-150. It's a little dirty. As you can see, I'm sure some soap and water will fix that right up. I actually grew to really like the kind of rough look with it. I've had so many family members ask me why I don't paint it. And I mean, it's a work truck. It's a farm truck. I don't have to be worried about, it getting beat up a little bit. I told you guys that I moved about 2 years ago, and this truck is what we used to haul everything. So all of the furniture, everything when we moved, and it did great. But it's so nice to be able to just toss things in the back, and if stuff scrapes here on the bed, you're just really not concerned about it. I think it gives it character, and I don't plan on painting it, to be completely honest with you. I want to just leave it like this as is, and let me know maybe down in the comments if you think I should paint it. But I have some good news. Over the last 2 years, I have had 0 repairs that I've had to do on this truck. It's just been routine maintenance, oil change, air filter, all that good stuff. No serious repairs at all. It starts up every time, runs great, sounds mean as always with that Flowmaster exhaust. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a little update on it, how it looks. It's got some leaves in there, you know. It's been fall and winter. It's kind of a look there. And I mean, we might as well take a quick peek under the hood and start it up, right? A lot of you guys will remember we did the Bilstein shocks. And you know, I got a lot of feedback whenever I had went through and tried to remove some of the rust and paint it a bit underneath. I know that that wasn't perfect, and I did more research afterwards, and you guys were right. I could have been way more thorough, but I'm still not really upset with the way it looks underneath. It doesn't, you know, look fully rusted out or anything, and it's pretty solid. And if you missed the series, I'm not going to sit here and try to plug away with it, but there's some history with this truck. This was my grandfather's farm truck, and he passed it down to me, and it hadn't been started in 15 years. It just sat in a field, and we basically did a new fuel tank, fuel pump and sending unit, and then just, you know, oil change, air filter, all that good stuff, and it fired right up. They really truly just don't make them like they used to with these trucks. But it's not driven often, only if I'm going to haul some things. That's the only time we really do anything with it. But you know, again, it's got some leaves in here to give it some character. But you know what? Let's start it up. As I said, starts up every time. Has never failed me. I do think that I need to either replace the belt or just tighten it maybe. Now let's have a quick peek under the hood and we'll wrap this thing up. Honestly, I would say over the last 2 years, I would bet I've put less than 1,000 miles on it. It really does not get driven very often. I need to drive it more often, really. There it is, the 5.0. Still purring. Got the good old Rural King battery in it. But that's really about it. Still loving the truck. I would say the next thing that I really do need to do is test the 4-wheel drive. I have never tried to put it in 4-wheel drive, and I need to make sure I'm prepared to fix things once I do, because I'm guessing another opportunity for someone to fill me in the comment section. I know that I can go to Google, but there's a lot of knowledgeable people here on this channel when it comes to cars and trucks. What would be the first step? I'm guessing there's some other things I need to check before I just try to put it into 4-wheel drive, right? So this one has where you have to manually do it here up front. Again, I'm far from an expert here. And then of course you've got your shifter up here. So I'm assuming there are some very serious things after it's sat for so long that need to be checked before I just try to pop it into 4-wheel drive, but I don't know what. I don't want to make it worse. I don't want to break something that wouldn't have broke if I would have checked it beforehand. So I would appreciate it if anybody could give me some tips and stuff. I'll start Googling it and things. It's about to be summertime. I'm probably not going to need the 4-wheel drive unless we're in the mud, but she's still running good. I love it. So again, thank you for sticking around. Even though I disappeared for the last 2 years, I might disappear for another 2 years. I'm just going to be honest and upfront with you. But I appreciate everybody, the kind and encouraging words on that video after my brother had passed away. And honestly, even the rude comments, you know, it's okay. I understand. I was very sad and upset in the moment, and I know a lot of you were too. You were following the project. Heck, I've had people that have actually recognized me out and about in the small little town that I live in East Tennessee, and they said, you're the Mustang guy. Hey, how's that project going? Because they didn't see the final video. And I understand. A lot of people felt invested in the project. And for me to just drop it like that, it was not an easy thing to do. It wasn't about the money because I didn't get a heck of a whole lot for it, just to be, again, up front with you. but it was something that I just could not do anymore. And if you don't understand, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. I'm not mad at you, and if you're mad at me, that's also okay. But maybe in the future, I'll see you again. But, we'll wrench on something. Maybe we'll get a 4-wheeler or something. I don't know, a golf cart. We'll figure something out, because I do miss hanging out with y'all. I miss learning about cars. It just, I had to step away from it, and it just is what it is. Maybe I'll see y'all soon.